Okay, can you hear? Tony C says the darn cat. Can you hear me now? Okay. Damn technical difficulties. All right. So let's start over. See, I was thinking, maybe I should start early this week just to talk because I'm continuing to play with these new features and stuff. So I was like, but nah, it went smoothly last week, so we'd be fine this week. And well, there you go. Thanks, Dave, for I, I could do the first silent intro. It'd be kind of in keeping with GIJoe, right? Like the Snake Eyes comic edition. All right, so let me start over. So first of all, welcome everybody to this special weekend edition, Memorial Day weekend. Uh, Let me first just say, for anyone who's possibly a veteran or serving in the armed forces currently, my thanks to you. Thank you for your service. It is greatly appreciated. For everybody else, welcome. Hopefully you're having a good weekend. Hopefully you've got a long weekend. Hopefully you got tomorrow off. I'll tell you that here where I live, like on Thursday, it was like 90 degree in the 90s, and like today it's in the 50s. So it hasn't been really a weekend for going out and doing much, especially not going to the pool or anything like that. So let's see who is in the house. So seeing Quinn there, Edward, Lord Venger, Stanley. What's up, Stanley? Eric, Dave. Let's see. Frost, Will, Krang Rebellion. All right, so a lot of familiar faces, a few new ones it looks like. So tonight for the agenda, so because it is the holiday and everything, I thought we would another round of pop culture trivia. So tonight, going to be giving away $200 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store, and I'll go over the rules here in a minute. But I've got 5 trivia questions that I'll be asking over the course of the evening, and at the end of the night, we'll give away 2 credits. Or $200 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. So that is on for tonight. We also, the 2 main topics of discussion, I think tonight will be revolving around Marvel Legends. We've gotten this past week, we had the live stream, but then this weekend we got some surprise reveals. So I thought we'd talk about that. And then also, I got a little bit of news on GIJoe Classified, little bad, little good. So I thought I would share that with you guys. And then also, for GIJoe Classified, I've got in the review studio the new Flint and Lady J figures that arrived this week from Big Bad Toy Store. So I was hoping to have these last Sunday, but they didn't arrive until afterwards. But tonight we're going to be taking a look at those. So let's see, and then of course whatever questions you guys might have, we'll try and get to as well. Let's see, R&R, Cobra. So if you weren't here last week, the new features that I've added is just being able to highlight your guys' comments. So R&R says he hates Blood's gun. I wouldn't know because I still have not gotten my hands on Major Blood. Now, in truth, that's because I have not been running to Target every day trying to find it. Though, from the best of my knowledge, the stores around here, around me, have only gotten one shipment in, one case a couple weeks ago, and of course they quickly sold out. So I know some Targets have gotten um, more than one case in since they started shipping. I think even maybe a few stores have gotten like 3 cases, but unfortunately those are not my stores around here. See, Neil says, I'm guessing that bad news about G.I. Joe Classified has to do with Cobra Island exclusives. Kinda. I don't have any specific news on anything new, but I have been doing some digging. So, like, this coming month, June, is supposed to be, according to Hasbro, is GIJoe June, or whatever it is they're calling it. Of course, June is just a few days away. So, best I can tell, and this isn't 100%, so things could change. Um, but again, I've been doing some digging, and it looks like if there's going to be any major GI Joe reveals, it's going to come towards the end of the month, towards the end of June. And then, unfortunately, it does not look like, unless they're store exclusives, like, more Cobra Island stuff, it does not look like there's going to be much in the way of GI Joe Classified reveals this month. At least, in regards to general release stuff. So again, not 100%, but from the digging I've been doing, I'm not seeing any indication of any kind of like general release GI Joe Classified figures coming up this week, or this month, or this coming month in June. So we may get some more exclusives. There's the barbecue figure, which is heavily rumored. I think is, I feel pretty confident saying is going to be a Target exclusive. I've seen some rumors of something in regards to like a Dr. Mindbender figure with a trouble bubble. I have no idea where that rumor originated from, but I've not been able to find anything, at least from Target, that would indicate that's legit. But I don't know. Like I said, I saw some people passing it around social media, but I don't even know where that originated from. So, but like I said, I did a little checking into that too, and so far I have not seen any indication of that. So, now the good news, however, though, I did want to say is, while probably nothing much in June, next year, 2022, is looking like could be a better year for G.I. Joe Classified in regards to non-exclusives. I've seen indications of at least a dozen or so figures that should get released next year. I don't have specifics, but it does look like. Still Wind 87, thank you, brother. Let's see, do you think Cobra Island figures will eventually be fan channel exclusives after a year or so? Maybe with your sponsor, Big Bad Toy Store. I'll never say never, but it more likely, I could see Hasbro Pulse maybe offering some of them. The question is in what numbers. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that maybe next month they will offer Major Blood on Pulse to everybody. As in they'll have enough numbers to fulfill whatever demand there is for the figure, so it's not just open to premium members and stuff. I don't know that they will. I'm just hopeful that they will. Target's yet to make that figure available online, and no idea if they're going to or not. So, and if they do Major Blood, we saw them do briefly the Firefly and the Viper figure on there last month, and it lasted 2 minutes. So, but I do think that's a possibility. I think as far as like general releases, I think we'll see more in the way of things like the Cobra Trooper, where it's a little bit different than the Target exclusive version, but essentially the same figure. So I think that's what you'll see. I think you'll probably see that with Baroness. Maybe like a dark navy outfit for Baroness instead of the black, something along those lines. That's the type of thing I would expect to see more with as far as general releases than just re-releasing the exact figures down the road. Again, it's not impossible, but I would expect that to be a more likelihood of getting like a kind of a variant release of the figure in some way at some point. Actually, I should have showed this one. Again, still win. Thanks for the super chat donation. Much appreciated. Let's see. Blaine says Trouble Bubble is just fan speculation due to the 39 price tag. Well, the thing is, I have not, and again, I don't know where that rumor originated, but I had some folks do some checking for me, and I mean, they have not seen anything that would even remotely look like a listing for a vehicle and such. So I don't know. It's hard, fan speculation. Oftentimes, all of a sudden on social media becomes everyone suddenly thinks it's like, oh yeah, that's fact, and so I don't know where that came. Even like I said, I don't know who even started that, or somebody found a listing or something that was for $40 for GI Joe. I have not been able to find that in the Target system. So Damien, thank you, brother. Although a bit long in the tooth, now would a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon figure line show enough interest in the project if a project was given the okay? Uh, I don't. There's those rumors of, well, pretty more rumor. I mean, they're definitely trying to work. They're trying to get a Dungeons and Dragons movie made, live action movie. So when that happens, I think there's a possibility we could see, in some fashion, an animated series line released by Hasbro. Um, Unfortunately, it probably would end up being some type of store exclusive. But I do feel like that's definitely a possibility if that movie actually does end up materializing. And right now, indications are that they're picking up cast and things like that to do it. So I would say it's a pretty good possibility. I don't know exactly when that movie is supposed to come out, but I would expect something around that time frame. Kyle says, "Could we see any Black Series based on droids, Ewoks, or holiday special?" Again, I never say never, but I wouldn't hold my breath. And if it did, it would probably be some type of very limited exclusive. But that, I just, I don't know. I don't think there'd honestly, and I could be totally wrong. I don't think there'd be enough demand for something like that. I mean, Hasbro's, to me, I feel like Hasbro's so far behind on Star Wars. I mean, I'm still waiting for the Mandalorian figure, Boba Fett, and the season 2 Mandalorian figures and things like that. It's like, and this is something I could feel like is going to be a growing problem with all these different like TV shows and movies and stuff, not only for Star Wars but for Marvel as well. It's just like there's going to be so much stuff coming, so many different TV shows and everything that Hasbro is going to, my guess is going to have a real hard time keeping up with all of it. When we start getting like multiple shows on around the same time, things like that, and then movies on top of that, I wonder how well Hasbro is going to be able to keep up with that. But as far as Star Wars goes, I feel like they've got so many things that they hopefully have in the pipeline to get to us first before they would do something like droids and stuff. All right, so let us kick off the trivia contest for tonight. So, okay, those of you who are new to the channel, so the way this works is I've got 5 questions here, and throughout the night, I'm going to read a question. The first correct answer I see scroll across the screen, I will select. I'll even highlight it now. And that person's name, whoever gets the correct answer, and it's the first one I see because sometimes things scroll so fast, and if I miss it, I apologize. I usually get the very first one, but it is the very first one that I call. And then that name goes into the bucket. So this is our official bucket for tonight. And I will be putting names in here. And then at the end of the evening, I will be drawing out 2 names, and those people will win. Each will win a $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. Now, you can get more than one question right. So the more questions you get right, the better your chances. And conceivably, if you get more than one question right, you could end up walking away with both store credits. And of course, if you got all the questions right, you would be guaranteed of walking away with the store credit. So um, there's that. And then also, like, if you get a question right early on, but you can't stay through the entire stream for whatever reason, you know, you have until, like, through tomorrow, come back. Just make sure you remind yourself to come back and check this video when it's just a regular video. And I'll have an email address in the comment section or in the video description, that you can contact me with to claim your prize. You do have to claim your prize. You have to contact me and claim your prize, and I'll give you the email at the end here. But just know, if you get a question right early in the evening, but you can't stay for the whole live stream, you can come back tomorrow, check it, and if you won, then you can contact me and claim your prize. But no, there is a deadline. It's not like you can come to me 3 weeks later and say, "Oh man, I just saw my name." I give you a day or so to claim your prize, but there is a deadline on that. So, like I said, if you get a correct answer, but you can't stay for the whole thing, just write yourself a note or something to make sure to come back tomorrow and check the video and see if your name was called or if your name was one of the names called. Because again, we're doing two tonight. All right, so, and these are pretty much toy related in regards to Marvel Legends and G.I. Joe. So sometimes I mix in like TV and movie and things like that, but I kept it to pretty much action figure related. Okay, so this is a G.I. Joe question. All right, this one I guess is more comic related than toy related, to be fair, because they never made an actual action figure of this one, at least that we ever saw. So the question is, and it's G.I. Joe related: when did Rocky Balboa join the G.I. Joe team? When or where or both? So like a year or where did he show up as a member of the G.I. Joe team? I'll take either answer. All right. Oh, so actually, yeah. Sorry, Kyle, Captain. It scrolled up before I hit the right one. So sorry, Kyle. Didn't mean to give you a false sense of hope. But Captain Mule was the first one with the correct answer in 1987. And it was in the G.I. Joe. I kind of gave you a hint. It is in the G.I. Joe comic book series, G.I. Joe Order of Battle, which was kind of their, where they gave bios and stuff on all the characters and vehicles and stuff in G.I. Joe. So in that issue number 2, Rocky Balboa from the Rocky movies, Sylvester Stallone, was listed as a member of the G.I. Joe team. Now, what happened was that somebody jumped the gun who I guess was working on the comics and added him into the Order of Battle before everything was signed, sealed, and delivered, with the agreement between Sylvester Stallone and Hasbro. So apparently, as I understand it, what happened the last moment, the company Coleco came in and offered Stallone a full-on Rambo toy line, and I guess there was a no-compete clause. I don't know if the no-compete clause was on Hasbro's part or on Coleco's, but for whatever reason, Stallone wasn't going to be allowed to do both the Rambo toy line and be part of the G.I. Joe team. And so I guess Stallone went with the Rambo line with Coleco, and everything fell apart with him joining the G.I. Joe team. But it was very close. So much so that they actually had included it in this GI Joe comic book series as being a member of the GI Joe team. And they actually the Cobra character, Big Boa, who's a boxer, was actually created to kind of be Rocky's arch nemesis. They kept Big Boa because he was a made up character, um, but Rocky never actually materialized. I don't know if they ever actually made any kind of action figure prototypes or anything, but I've never seen them. But again, he was actually listed in the comics. So Captain Mule, he is the first one to go into the bucket. So remember, Captain, if you can't stay through the whole live stream, make sure you come back tomorrow and check and see if your name was drawn. All right, so that's how the trivia contest. So we've got 4 more trivia contests to go, and again throughout the evening, we're probably going to be, probably try and wrap this up around 8 o'clock tonight. So we should have all the trivia contests or questions asked by then. All right, so let us head over to the review studio and take a closer look at the new Flint and Lady J, which I know many of you probably have had longer than I have. But I just got mine this week. So overall, I've got a few minor complaints. More so with Lady J than Flint. But for the most part, I think these are pretty good figures. Pretty good representations of their original counterparts. I think probably my only minor complaint with Flint is, I don't know, this face. First of all, I'm not sure why he's got a scar on his eye. I don't remember Flint ever having a scar there. Maybe he's Zartan or something in disguise. But the face, just to me, I don't know, it screams more like John Wayne or something than Flint. So it's not horrible or anything. It just, to me, it doesn't quite capture Flint, or at least what I remember for Flint. Otherwise, though, it's a very solid looking figure. He comes with this shotgun, which I don't think, as far as classified weapons go, this is actually probably one of the better ones. You've got the shotgun shells on there that are actually painted. You've got the pump here, which is painted brown, so it's not just all solid black, which is nice. And they even made it so you could open it up so it looks like you're loading it. So I like that. He comes with a pistol, which has a whole holster. Of course, it's one of those classified pistols, so not huge fan of that, but it looks pretty good in the holster. And he's also got a place to store the shotgun on his back. So he doesn't have his traditional backpack, but it is cool that they made it so you could store his shotgun there. So I do like that. And of course his beret is actually removable, which is pretty cool. That wasn't something you could ever do on the original figures. And the overall look, again, just seems to capture the original essence of Flint, more so than probably the earlier Joes and stuff. Articulation, I mean, it's the same as we've seen across the board with these guys, so not really going to focus on that. So that's Flint. Lady J. So Lady J, I think, is pretty good overall. My complaints are just, preferences, about more in way of preference. Like, I would have liked it instead of giving us this camera thing, which I get why they did it. It's kind of a throwback to the original figure. But I would have rather had a quiver with unextended javelins that she could store on her back, she would have in the cartoon and stuff. You can store this. You get 2 javelins and you can store 1 on the back here, but I think it would have looked better if it was like a quiver of javelins, and even like that aren't extended. So this is a javelin that's extended, but when she keeps it in her back, on her back, it's only about this big. So it would have been cool if we'd gotten some javelins, and it also would have been cool if maybe they had changed up the tips of the javelins a little bit more, so you get two of these bladed ones, which look fine, but then you only get one extra one, which is just solid black, so there's not a whole lot of detail to it. This looks like maybe it's supposed to be a grapple or something. I'm not sure. But, she has kind of like the trick, kind of like Hawkeye has trick arrows. She would have like the trick javelins. So I think it would have been cool if they'd given us more alternate tips than just the two blades and then the one solid black one. So that's really as far as my complaints go. Now, one other thing I do want to say with my figure, and I don't know if this is true across the board, but on my figure, right out of the package, she was very loose here, where the legs connect. So, she was almost like wobbly. So I don't know. Again, I don't know if that's just with my figure or if that's a problem across the board with all of them. But very loose here in this section, so that makes it a little more challenging to keep her standing, because again, she's very wobbly there. So hopefully it's just with my figure and that's not something that was a problem with all of them. But I definitely noticed that right out of the package is how loose it was there with her legs. She does have double jointed elbows, so Hasbro is starting to do more with their female characters. And I guess, this is the pinless technology, since there's no pins, so that's cool. So she's got pretty good wide range of movement. Again, just really with that looseness there is my only complaint in regards to that. Now she has a knife that sticks in her belt here. She's got the backpack, which is removable. Which again, I actually hadn't noticed. You can actually store her extra javelin tips on the back here. However, you can't store. You can put the second blade if you want to in here, but you can't store both javelins. You can only store one javelin on the backpack. So. And then this piece, which again is supposed to be a camera, which is a nod to the original figure, attaches to the side here. So that's pretty cool. And then she also, so again, in keeping with the original action figure, they gave you the hat, and you can actually take her hair off, so it's like she's wearing a wig. It's kind of weird. But then, because she never wore the hat in the cartoon, so if you want her to look more like she does in the cartoon, then you can just have the hair, which I think is pretty cool. Face sculpt, I don't think is bad. I think they've done a pretty good job there. Overall look, again, very much in keeping with her original look, so more so than the first round of Joes that we got, which I think is what people wanted. So I don't mind a little bit of updates, but you can see Duke and Flint are about the same height. So overall, again, a few minor complaints here and there, but I think are pretty solid figures. General releases. So while I have seen people finding these more in store than like maybe the first round of Joes, but I still wouldn't say it's great. So again, I think your best bet's just to order them offline. Again, I got mine from Big Bad Toy Store. But if you're willing to buy these online, again, the regular release figures are not that difficult to get. Certainly nowhere near on par as the Cobra Island figures. So that's it. Sorry, I wasn't able to read your comments while while I was at the review studio. So Jerry says, "Does she really wear a wig in the cartoon?" No, she doesn't wear a wig. She doesn't wear a hat. So the figure looks like she's wearing a wig because you can take her hair off, but she never wore the hat in the cartoon. She had the hat with the action figure, and she did have the hat in the comics. At least in the first issue she appeared, I think she had the hat on, but she never. She never. Yeah, I don't think she ever wore the hat in the cartoon. Edward Beatty says Cobra Commander is French. I don't think he's French. Let's see, Arnar says Storm Shadow with tattoo is growing on me. I might get the T-shirt. I like the look of the figure. I could do without the tattoo, but I like the look of that figure or the artwork that we've seen. We haven't seen an actual figure yet, but I assume there's one that will come eventually. But but I like the look of that Storm Shadow. Oh, and so as far as next month, Yojo June. So as far as what's going to be revealed, again, I don't have specifics, but I'm assuming it's probably going to be more store exclusives when it comes to Cobra, or when it comes to classified stuff. And then the other focus, I think, is just going to be on more Snake Eyes movie product, more, the stuff more for the kids. So again, based on what I've seen so far, it's possible that could change. But right now, I'm not seeing a lot. It's not like, in other words, what I'm saying is, as far as I'm sure there's going to be a live stream for GI Joe in June. I think it's going to be towards the end of the month, but I wouldn't expect a ton of GI Joe classified new reveals during that. I think the focus will be Snake Eyes the movie, Snake Eyes movie product, and then maybe some store exclusives. And maybe they'll tease some stuff for down the road that maybe doesn't go up for pre-order, on that day. But again, right now I'm not seeing anything as far as indication of non-store exclusive releases for this year so far. So I don't want, again, I don't want you to take that as 100% in stone. I'm just saying right now, uh, it's not looking good for a lot more Cobra, or a lot more GI Joe classified stuff for this year. Now again, next year is looking much more promising. So it looks like we might have to suffer through a drought this year. It looks like we're gonna have to deal with some more store exclusives, but then next year, hopefully things will be better, and this line won't be so difficult to collect. Because I mean, it is, I mean, truly, in my opinion, it's one of the best action figure lines out there if you can just get your damn hands on them. But with all the Target exclusives, and right now the line is about half and half regular releases and half store exclusives, and especially since they're store exclusives that are of major characters, it makes it very frustrating. All right, well, enough about GI Joe for now. Let's uh let's talk a little Marvel Legends here. So this weekend, hitting the wrong button. This weekend, we got some surprise reveals. So we've got Jason Wingard here from the Hellfire Club that Hasbro sprung on us. So this, so Hasbro's apparently doing something a little different. Uh, they are allowing some fans to essentially reveal some of these figures this weekend. So there was one yesterday, which we'll get to, which was revealed by the guys at Fwoosh. Super Sorrel here got to reveal this Hellfire Club figure today, and then there's actually going to be a third reveal tomorrow, which I don't know who's going to reveal it, and I don't know what it's going to be, though I'm assuming it's probably going to be X-Men themed. But so this was today's reveal, and you know, if you got that Hellfire Club box set, you know, last year's Comic Con exclusive, then I think this will probably be a must have for you. And I like it because they give you that alternate head. This is really what I remember most for this character, Mastermind. This this head. Though I saw somebody on social media call it a Hitler head, so I guess if you want, it does have some resemblance to Hitler. I guess you could make your own Hitler figure with this head sculpt. Maybe take the classic Red Skull figure and stick this head on there if you want to make a Hitler figure. But I think it's pretty cool. Now, they have not said how or when any of these figures are going to be released, but I suspect, and this is purely speculation, it's not based on any actual information that I have, but I suspect, if guessing, my best guess is these will be released as fan channel exclusives. Only because, I mean, Hasbro has said that the next X-Men wave after the Age of Apocalypse wave, the second Age of Apocalypse wave that they just announced this week, you know, they have said before that that next wave of X-Men figures will be, you know, won't be based on any specific storyline. So, you know, these could be part of that wave. I just feel like that wave is probably too far off. That wave is not likely going to be released until early next year. So that and the fact that they're having fans actually, you know, reveal these figures says to me that these are probably going to be fan channel exclusives. So maybe on X-Men retro cards. Again, just my speculation, but we'll have to see. But they are not saying right now technically how these figures are being released. So that one was today's, and then pop down here to yesterday's, which again was revealed by the Fwoosh, and I have links to both Fwoosh and Sorrel in the comment or in the video description if you want to check them out. Sorrel did a video, and both guys, they've actually been sent early production samples, so you know they give you pretty good looks at these. But these are the official press images. Close that out. So Callisto of the Morlocks, leader of the Morlocks, at least until Storm came along, um, which is essentially just using that Storm body, that punk rock Storm body, different skin color, different head sculpt, but they gave her the switchblades. But I think it's a pretty good use of the body. I think it looks pretty much in keeping with the character. Now, if they're going to give us her, we definitely, I think we're going to need to start getting some more Morlocks, but all right, so let's switch back to some of your guys' questions. So Quinn's Comics, what do I think about the alleged Excalibur box set? The hits we saw, like Lockhead, the sword, back of Megan's hat. Yeah, I mean, if that's not an Excalibur team box set that's going to be released as an Amazon exclusive, then I would be shocked. So, I mean, I don't know anything more than you guys have seen, but you know, we saw that listing that popped up on Amazon that the dimensions fit a box set, and you know, this type of box set. You know, we saw the Alpha Flight set, then the Children of Thanos set. So it's in keeping with the yearly Amazon exclusive that Hasbro's been doing. You know, an older team. So, you know, I don't have any inside information on that, but I would, again, I would be shocked if that does not end up being an Excalibur box set of the original team. Stanley's Toy Channel. We need a Toad. I agree. And I think we'll see a Toad. Yeah, I would go, again, not based on anything I've seen, but just guessing. I think we probably will see a Toad maybe next year. That's something I could see them doing Well, I guess they could do it as one of these fan channel exclusives. I mean, who knows? Maybe that'll be tomorrow's reveal. But if not, then I could see them definitely doing Toad in the next X-Men wave. Yeah, I guess that's another. Sorry, I lost the comment now, but that's actually not a bad. Prophet says San Diego Comic Con exclusive had same types of clues last year. So I guess I don't know. Callisto and Jason Waingard as a like a box set. I don't know. It'd be kind of weird. I won't say it's impossible, but like I could see them doing a Morlocks box set as a San Diego Comic Con exclusive, like they did the Hellfire Club last year. So I could see that. So I mean, and there's nothing to say that one of these could be a fan channel exclusive and the other could be San Diego. You know, there's nothing that says, you know, we really don't have any idea what how these are going to be released. But yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, I could definitely see them, you know, doing like a Morlocks box set as San Diego, or not as this year. You know, there is no actual San Diego this year, so it's virtual, and Hasbro will probably do their own thing. So it'll probably be like a Pulse exclusive. But yeah, I could see that. Let's So of course this weekend we had those two reveals, but let us let's pop down and look at. So I don't know if you guys saw that lucky bastard Dan Who's Reviews, who lives over in the UK, already has gotten his hands on the John Walker Captain America figure. So he's got a review up of it. You should check out if you haven't. That the U.S. Agent figure that they did, not great, but this Captain America figure I think is dead on. Head sculpt looks. I mean, obviously it's pretty much the same figure, but they just messed up the U.S. Agent costume. But with this one, you know, that unmasked head sculpt, which you don't get with the U.S. Agent figure, to me it looks dead on. So I have this one on pre-order from Walmart. It's a Walmart exclusive here in the U.S., but I look forward to getting that. Of course, according to Walmart, we're not gonna. Those of us here in the U.S. are not gonna get this figure until August. So just zipping down here. Oh, and we got some new looks at the Eternals. So I don't know. I'm still not seeing a lot of excitement from folks for these Eternals figures, even after the trailer. These are just three of them. Yeah, I agree with this face sculpt. I've seen some people kind of compare it to the Ant-Man figure, but these images came via Mojo Reviews. So he got his hands early on three of the figures early, and has a review up. All right, so Tigra. Let's first talk about Tigra. So the tail clue finally solved. And I believe we sat here several months ago when they first made that clue, speculating that Tigra was the most likely candidate, and in fact she was. So Ryan Ting had put, they showed the actual image of the figure is just a digital concept, so it's not the actual figure, which is why you see the pins. She's gonna have pinless technology and everything, but then they posted up an image of just the arm of the actual figure, so it gives you that look without the pins and stuff. But definitely, I mean, like I said when we first started talking about Tigra, the moment that I bought the older one on the secondary market, I knew I was done. I knew they were going to do a new one. So, but it looks like a good figure. It looks like a good update. Again, this is going to be going forward. I think the new female body that they're going to be primarily using. So, I would expect to see this mold used a lot moving forward. All right, next up we've got Spider-Man 2099. I got, to be 100% honest with you, I'm happy with the one I have. So if you don't have the original one they did, it's probably worth picking up. It does have a new deco and stuff, and you get multiple pairs of hands. But for me personally, there's just not enough new here to warrant getting this figure a second time. But like I said, if you missed out, then I'd probably check this one out. And you get, of course, the retro card. So that was one of the reveals from the weekend. And then, of course, as I told you guys last week, Age of Apocalypse Wave 2. So this is some of the artwork. Again, these are digital concepts. These aren't the final figures or anything, but Magneto's going to have multiple heads. Rogue. I think out of these, Cyclops. Fabio Cyclops. Sabretooth we'd already seen before. Kitty Pryde. The Iceman, I think, is probably the coolest one here. I like this detailing with the spikes on him and stuff. So I may pick this one up. I am not super into the Age of Apocalypse figures. The only figure I got in the first wave was X-Men. If they had done Sugarman as the deluxe figure, I would have probably gotten him. But Salome is joining us, everybody. So you can expect a lot of cat hair to start floating around. But yeah, so not that they're bad figures. It's just for me personally, I just not as excited about figures based on Age of Apocalypse. It was a pretty good story for the time, but it wasn't one that was like I had been dying to get figures for. So the Build-A-Figure was in fact Colossus. I kind of thought it would be. I didn't have anything specific, but I just felt like Colossus was the most likely answer. I might get the Legion too, because this is really, even though Legion was killed at the very beginning of Age of Apocalypse, so this is basically just a Legion figure. So I'll probably get this one as well. But again, this Iceman figure is probably my favorite of the wave. It's a pretty impressive looking Colossus. But and then of course there were the hints for Excalibur, like we already talked about. Let's see. Do I think we'll see Mephisto in Marvel Legends? I think it's a possibility. maybe as some probably would be done as like a fan channel exclusive or something along those lines. I don't know. What do I think of the Mafex Jean Grey and Psylocke figures? I haven't had them in hand or anything, but you know they look pretty good. I have not really gotten a recent Mafex figure in a while, so like I I thought about getting like the Jim Lee Cyclops Mafex figure, but then I had seen some reviews that said it wasn't as good as it probably should have been, so I ended up not getting it. Jerry says they look too anime. Well, again, remember these are digital, renderings, but I don't know. I mean, I think they'll be in keeping with the first wave. All right, time for another trivia question. So we've got 4 left. So just to recap real quick, if you're just joining in, we're doing a trivia question, total of 5 questions. I've already asked one. First correct answer I see scroll across the screen. I'll call out their name, and that person will go into the bucket. You can you can get more than one question. The more times you get correct, the better your chance of winning. At the end of the evening, I'll draw 2 names out of the bucket, and those people will win $100 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store. So next question. Let me. Okay. This is a toy question. What year did Hasbro purchase Kenner? So what year did Hasbro purchase Kenner, the original company that made Star Wars figures, among other things? This thing scrolls up super fast. I saw the correct answer. I'm making sure I get the first one. Yeah, looks like Damien got the first correct answer. 1991. So Tonka actually bought Kenner in 1987, and then Hasbro bought Tonka with Kenner in 1991. So that's essentially when Hasbro attained the Star Wars license and everything else that went along with Kenner. But 1991 was the magic year. So congrats, Damien. I'm writing your name down on the back of the card. And your name. Your name is now going into the bucket. So 2 down and 3 to go. 3 questions to go. Now remember, if you get more than one answer correct, your name goes into the bucket more than once. That increases your chances of winning at least once, and you could conceivably win both store credits. So Salome is in here trying to steal Lady J's javelin. So let me see. Oops. If you're not familiar with Salome, Salome is an accessory klepto and loves to steal weapon accessories from my action figures. All right. Thanks, Quinn. Thanks, Kaz. Salome is one of a kind. Salamazilla. When she steals them, what does she do with them? Well, she usually bats them around the floor, chews on them a little bit, and then leaves them some wherever she just happens to be. But she likes to bat them around the floor like a hockey puck. She's never actually swallowed like an accessory. She'll chew on them, so you might end up with some tooth marks in them. But she's yet to actually swallow any accessories. So haven't had to find them in the litter box. All right, so we kind of covered the Marvel Legends and GI Joe Classified. What else? Anything else? Let's see. MK Solid. Anyone agree that Todd McFarlane is just releasing too much stuff too quickly? Well, I don't know. I mean, it's no worse than Hasbro and Marvel Legends, so I will say personally that yeah, there's so much stuff that comes out these days. Marvel, is very difficult to keep up. Not, I mean, even setting aside just the money, just like space and like being able to get your hands on it and stuff. It's just like it starts to pile up. I mean, it's like it comes out faster than you can get it open and find places to display it and things like that. So Sentinel Miles Morales thoughts. It looks like a good figure. I saw Jay Hernandez did a review of it, so I watched that. If you haven't seen it, you should check it out. So he gives it a pretty high praise, saying it's the best Miles Morales figure out there. My thing about it is, to me, I 100% think it's probably better than the Marvel Legend one, the more recent one. The first one Hasbro did was total crap because it's supposed to be based on Into the Spider-Verse. So I have no doubt that it's probably a better figure, but that's almost like, if it wasn't, that would be a real problem because I mean the Sentinel one is like $80 and the Hasbro one's $20. So, you know, when you start factoring in the difference in price, for me personally, it's really not a character that I'm that hardcore about that like I want to get another one. I'm perfectly happy with the Marvel Legend one, the 6-inch one. So, but as far as just the actual figure itself and the quality, it looks like a pretty solid figure. And if you are a big fan of that character, then it probably looks. Again, I don't have it in hand, so I don't want to say 100%. But from what I've seen, it looks like it's probably a figure worth picking up. George just made it to the stream. Did you hear about Mastermind revealed in the Hellfire Club? Looks like a second head for his real look. Yes, we just got done talking about that just a few minutes ago. But yes, um, definitely that was the second reveal for the weekend, and there's actually going to be a third reveal tomorrow. So we'll have to wait and see what that one is. But I agree. I like the second head. OK Figure says wants an Alan Moore Swamp Thing from McFarlane. That would be cool. Swamp Thing seems like a no-brainer for McFarlane, but now we had those. We can go over and pop over here. So I don't know if you guys saw this. I posted this yesterday. So this armored version of Darkseid from the Snyder Cut that we saw the image, but McFarlane's yet to give us any details on how it's, or when it's going to be released. Other than they did briefly say a month or so ago that it would probably be out in July timeframe. They made a comment in their social media, but overseas retailers are now listing this as a San Diego Comic Con exclusive. Now, again, remember there isn't an actual San Diego Comic Con happening this year. It's virtual. So, and I've done some checking, and like places like our sponsor Big Bad Toy Store have not seen any indication that this is a figure that they're going to be allowed to carry. So what I suspect, and this isn't 100% confirmed by McFarlane or anything, but what I suspect is this will be made available through someplace, probably Walmart. Walmart likes to, around Comic Con time. I remember last year they did this kind of like where they set up this little special area on their website, and they offer like a lot of figures and stuff for pre-order. So I'm suspecting this will probably be offered through Walmart, and even though it's being listed as Comic Con exclusive, but again, because there is no actual Comic Con this year, that really doesn't mean anything. So but it's not going to be like some Comic Con exclusives get released at places like sponsor Big Bad Toy Store, but I'm going to bet money that this one is going to be released probably through Walmart. But what I really wanted to focus on was we got these new updated. These are from Diamond Previews magazine. So our first look at Hal Jordan. We'd seen listings for these figures back in February, so we knew they were coming. But now we've got the so I don't know when these are going to go up for actual official. Actually, I take that back. I think these are going to go up sometime next month. I don't know exactly when. I mean, next month is literally, a day away. So, but I suspect these will be going up for pre-order in June. It's kind of weird for him to start out with the Dark Knight. If he's going to start doing Dark Knight Returns figures, it's weird that he's starting out with the armored Batman. And then we got the King Shazam. He loves these infected figures. Demon. It's a cool looking Demon. I would have rather had his more traditional look, but still pretty cool looking figure. And then this is his Todd McFarlane designed Wonder Woman, which I gotta say I think looks better than his Batman, his the McFarlane designed Batman figure. So too much Batman, says CJ. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think that's really going to change. I think Batman's always going to be the primary focus with the McFarlane stuff. Snapface says Todd wants to be Batman. I mean, with Todd, I think it just comes down to numbers. I think Batman is overall sells better. The retailers want to carry, or when I say retailers, I'm talking Walmart and Target. That's what they want to carry, and the numbers tell them that Batman is the most popular character out there, and so I don't see that really changing. We'll continue to get a few figures here and there that are non-Batman, but I don't ever expect McFarlane to give us just heavy on non-Batman stuff. Bean says, at least we're getting a Green Lantern even now and again. Yeah, I mean, and I think that Green Lantern uses pretty much the John Stewart body, but and I would not be surprised at all. I've said this before that Green Lantern Hal Jordan figure will end up getting a single release, but says imagine his career if he stayed at DC working on Batman. DC was foolish for letting him go. Well, you got to remember back then. I mean, you're right. Hindsight's 2020, but back then, when he was doing covers, pretty much just covers for DC, he was not a household name. He was a fairly untried artist, and but Arnar says the Target app is lame. Just told me Anakin is in stock, but nothing. So I saw. I think it was. Is it last night or the night before? The the Anakin and the pilot were available on Target's website for a brief time. So that may be why you're getting that notification now. They didn't last very long, but they were available, I think, for a brief time. I don't think it was. I think it was the night before last, but here recently they were available again. And then like I saw both of those figures. Like when I went on there, it told me that stores that weren't like super close to me, but like drivable, if I really was that wanting those figures, like I could have actually bought it online and then gone to like stores that were like 40 minutes away and picked it up. I'm not that keen on those Clone War figures. They look decent, but they're $25 each, and I don't know. I haven't. If I happen to see them in a store, I might get them, but I think it would end up being more of an impulse buy than anything. So unfortunately, for me, it's Major Blood that I'm waiting for, and maybe they'll put it up on Target's website. I don't know, but so far they haven't. Going to Target and Walmart is a waste of time unless you need household stuff. Yeah, I mean, well, a little bit depends on where you live. So there are some areas that definitely get stocked better than others, usually areas that are near the ports, on the West Coast, things like that. So those, and those are the, if you, when you're on social media and you see guys starting to find, you can almost always count the first person to find something is going to be in California. And like I said, like with the Major Blood, I know some Target stores in the country have gotten at least 3 different cases of the Major Blood figure. Not my stores, and probably more stores than not are similar to my store, but again, there are some people who are better off, depending on where they live. But there's no way in hell, I've seen some people try and say, oh, well, Major Blood is readily available now. And I wish that were the case, but that's still bullshit. And it's still pretty much the fact that they only come in one case at a time. You still pretty much have to be at the store when they come off the truck if you want any chance of getting them. So, but I've not been willing to, I'm not going to start driving to Target every day hoping I can find it. It's just, that's ridiculous to me. That's almost, I mean, first of all, that's what they want. They want you to be going in the store on a regular basis. That's why they do the exclusive. But secondly, like I said, I don't have that kind of time. I guess there are people out there who do. And I mean, I can understand if like, say you drive by you go to work every day and you drive by a Target, I might, under those circumstances, I might be willing to, stop in, run in real quick just to see if they have it when I'm coming or going from work. But going out of my way to go to Target every day, trying to hope that maybe it's going to come in off the truck is just, to me, it's just not. It's ridiculous to expect people to do it, and I've talked about this a lot, so I don't really want to go down that hole, but I just think it's ridiculous. We'll leave it at that. All right, let's do another trivia question. So 3 questions left. Giving away tonight 2 store credits to Big Bad Toy Store for $100 store credits, and you can get more than 1 question right. So let's do another one. All right, this is a Marvel question. What was the first Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure and what year was it released in? So it's a two-part question. You got to get both parts right. What was the very first Build-A-Figure done and what year was it done in? Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure, just to stipulate. Oh, close, Jim. Wait, I think I saw the answer. God. I think sure. Alright, I'm pretty sure this is the first one with the correct answer. So, Jerry, correct. Galactus in 2005 from Toy Biz was the very first Marvel Legend Build-A-Figure. Congrats. Your name is now in the bucket. So far, no repeat winners. So odds are pretty equal so far, but we've got two more questions to go. And we'll see who wins. Now, just a reminder: if you're one of the three people that have gotten the right answer so far, but you can't stay through the end of the live stream, definitely make sure you come back tomorrow. Check, make sure your name wasn't called, but if it was, then you'll be able to email me. I'll have the email in the video description, and you can claim your prize. But you will have to claim your prize within like about a 24-hour, 48-hour period. Otherwise, you know, don't like if you come back 3 weeks from now and like, oh damn, I won. Unfortunately, that's going to be too long to claim your prize. Two more questions to go, guys. We're probably going to go through the next two questions fairly quickly here. Yeah, being forced to go to Target and Walmart is ridiculous. It's available to order online and limit the amount sold would make collecting much easier. Yeah, but again, that kind of defeats the purpose of the exclusive from the retailer standpoint. I gotta, I saw a comment go by, saying how like it's depressing talking about Walmart. I agree. I want to be like, I want to be these guys that like come on camera and like everything's great and they're like happy and they're like they act like everything's I don't know. I feel like I get I do I want to be, I feel like it's important to talk about these things, exclusives, and how they're, in my opinion, harming the hobby and everything. But at the same time, I hate always feeling negative. I love collecting action figures, and I want it to be something that's enjoyable for everybody. But I feel like sometimes I go too negative, and I don't know. I don't like being negative. I don't want to be negative, but I just, when you start talking about these exclusives and Walmart and Target and stuff, it's hard not to. Uh, sorry, I gotta move something here off screen. Let's see. Andrew says, "Look at the positives of the exclusives." What positives do you have in mind there, Andrew? X says, "Well, the exclusives are frustrating as hell, so they push you to be negative." Yeah, unfortunately. And I don't think I'm alone in that. I mean, I see a lot of people who, they get, when you go on social media and you go to the Facebook groups and stuff, and you see a lot of people who. NK Solid says, Heavy Metal Magazine censoring the Tyranno character. Grab the sexy loose collector figure while you can. Well, didn't they have to approve it? Why would they censor? I mean, I haven't heard anything about that, but that was a good looking figure from what I've seen. I think it's available at Big Bad Toy Store if people want to get that one. Packed entertainment. When I want to be positive, I watch shows I like the Dragon Ball shows, except Dragon Ball GT, and then I feel happy. And everything bad in the world fades away. And honestly, Pack, I, I feel like some people watch, YouTube videos, watch, action figure reviews and stuff because for the same reason. They don't want to be they don't want to think about negative things and stuff. They just want to, and I understand that perspective. I do. It's just for me. For me, it's like my job is to try and bring you news and information on action figures, and that's unfortunately just not always positive. But all right, let's get back to positive. Let's do another trivia contest question. As winning $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store, I think would be positive for whoever wins. We've got 2 questions left. All right, another G.I. Joe question. What year did Hasbro launch the G.I. Joe Sigma 6 line? So Sigma 6 was an 8-inch action figure line, had its own cartoon. Very different style from a Real American Hero. Yep, looks like Ingram here is the first correct answer that I saw. 2005 is when Hasbro premiered G.I. Joe Sigma 6. Again, a very kind of different style, animation style, design style. But actually, I thought it was actually a pretty cool action figure line. I was kind of disappointed when they canceled that line. Even the cartoon wasn't too bad, but it definitely had mixed reactions. Some people hated it, some people loved them. But Ingram, congrats, man. Number 4 in the bucket. One more question to go, which we're going to ask here pretty quick here. But good job. Captain Mule, our first winner of the night with correct answer. He's still in the house. That's twice I've answered first and not one. Sorry, man. I looked. I didn't see your answers, so that's why I always preference that it's got to be the first one I see. But I backtracked and didn't see it. It's weird. Like the when you guys all start commenting at the same time, it just got zoom, and so it's very hard to see it with this stream yard. But you still got one more chance. And remember, it's all for fun. This won't be the last time we do a trivia contest, so you'll have more chances. Snapphase says we've got different internet speeds, so Yeah, I don't like Snapface says I got to go by what I see on the screen. So I don't know if you guys see the comments in the exact order as I do. I thought you did, but maybe not. Kyle says do an MCU trivia contest next. Oh, you mean like just trivia questions about movies? That's not a bad idea. Might do that down the road. If we do, but then say only Marvel fans would. Owen says, "Love your channel. It's part of my Fab Five." Thanks, man. I'm kind of curious who the other four are. What is the oldest line you have in your collection? I like what is the oldest like figure that I own, or just like what is the line I've been collecting the longest? Um, Oldest figure would probably go to Star Wars because I still have, a few Kenner items. But probably the line that I've well, I mean Star Wars is probably a winner all around because I mean it's just as a line itself. I mean Star Wars was the first action figure line as a kid that I ever got. So um, the only thing I remember before Star Wars was Matchbox cars. I remember having Matchbox cards as a kid, but but action figure wise, Star Wars was the first thing I ever had. So, and then, I didn't collect Star Wars heavily when Hasbro first took over the license with like Power of the Force. I picked up a few here and there. I probably didn't start heavily collecting Star Wars until episode one. And then it's kind of been off and on over the years. And then probably the only other line that I've collected nearly as long is, G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe was probably the second line that I started collecting as a kid. Uh, and I've collected throughout. So, and Transformers as well was those were the three lines I primarily collected as a kid, and have again. But Marvel, Marvel Legends, I've probably collected steadily since the line first debuted. So where like there were times where with Star Wars and definitely Transformers and even GI Joe where maybe I wasn't collecting it super heavily. Marvel Legends I've probably collected pretty heavily throughout most since the early Toy Biz days. I took a little break when Hasbro first took over the line because I thought the quality of the figures had just gotten so bad. But then when Hasbro started picking up the quality, I started collecting them again. And CM Brock says, I hope NECA makes an April from the game with a better head sculpt. I don't think that April figure was too bad. Val says, do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Secret of the Use question. I watched that last night. It's so bad, but it's still a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie. I would have to go back and watch that movie myself before I could think of any questions, unless I just like Googled it or something, because it's been a long time since I've seen that movie. What do I think of Hasbro jumping into shattered glass Transformers? It seems a fan concept right up their alley with repaints. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's why they're doing it. It's got fan support, and it's from their standpoint. Essentially they just get to repaint figures, so it's cost effective. So, and that's honestly like for an exclusive, I feel like that's what exclusive should be. That type of thing. So when it's just like a repaint of something that's maybe not major as major. So it's not. I mean, I personally wasn't really into the Shattered Glass storyline, so I personally am not terribly interested in it. But Jim, no, I have not. I have not found the Turtle in Disguise pack. I I can count on one hand and not use all my fingers the number of times I've actually seen Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle NECA figures on shelves at my local store. So um, somebody had contacted me and said that they had a set that they could sell me at cost, and I actually turned it down because I have the turtle. I have the original turtles, and while all the disguise accessories and everything are cool, I didn't feel like I really needed the turtles again, so I actually turned down an opportunity. I didn't see them in my own store, but I did turn down an opportunity to buy them at cost. But I did finally get the frogs. Um, Thanks to Omni, he hooked me up with the frog 2-pack because again, I never saw that one in my local store, and that one supposedly is even shipped in larger numbers than most of the other 2-packs, but I've yet to see that one in my local stores. But I did get my hands on that one, and I guess like the Muckman figure is starting to hit now, the deluxe figure. So I don't know if I'll be able to get that one or not. And I got Rat King. The Rat King 2-pack I never saw, but I ended up pre-ordering that one straight from NECA, so I'm waiting for them to ship that one to me. All right, let's do the last trivia question for the night, and then we'll draw two names. So far, no duplicate winners. All right, this is another Marvel Legend question. So, what was the first Hasbro Marvel Legend Build-A-Figure, and what year was it released? So, waiting for correct answers. No, Kyle. I'm trying to get the first correct answer. At least it's coming up on my screen. Okay, so on my screen, oh, Jason Todd is the right answer. So Annihilus was the first Hasbro Build-A-Figure, which was released in 2007. So it's kind of funny. There's only 2 years between the first Toy Biz Build-A-Figure and the first Hasbro Build-A-Figure. It seemed like it was longer, but all right. So we now have our 5 names in the bucket. So I'm gonna now draw out 2 names, and we don't have any repeat winners. So we're gonna have 2 unique winners. And Salome is going to help me pick out the first name. So the way this is going to work, I'm going to draw out the name and I'm going to read it here on air, and then you'll want to contact me at j@enewsi, that's enewsi.com, and I will put that in the video description when this becomes a regular video. But you'll want to contact me to claim your prize. You'll need to give me your name and your email address. But you'll want to email me to claim your prize. Don't like post it in the comment section. So, first winner is what year did Hasbro purchase Kenner? Damien is our first winner. So congrats, man. You have just got yourself $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. All right, so one more. And is Damien still in the house? All right, I've got the second one here. Drum roll. And the winner is... The question was, what was the first Hasbro Build-A-Figure? Jason Todd. So, coming in at the end and walking away with $100 store credit to Big Bad Toy Store. So, congrats to both. So, again, you'll want to email me at jay@enewseye.com. I'll put the email down in the video description when this becomes a regular video. And you'll want to claim your prize. I haven't seen... Jason's there. Congrats, man. Oh, there's Damien. So both the guys are still in the house. Cool. So I do, like I said, if some of you thought you got it in first, I do apologize. I got to go what's coming across my screen first. So, but again, we will do a contest again. So you guys will have more chances. And, Tony C says he demands a recount. But yeah, so what used to be in the Cap 10? This was a Mezco 112 Collective Captain America figure. As I forget which one, but you get even the cool shield top. This was their 2016 Comic Con exclusive. The figure is on a shelf, but I kept the tin. But I think we're gonna call it an evening. Again, hopefully you guys have a great weekend. So while last 2 days here it's been rain and 56 degrees, tomorrow is actually supposed to be somewhat nice, 71 degrees, at least partly sunny. So might try and go out and do some stuff tomorrow. But of course, we have a third Marvel Legend reveal coming tomorrow. From somewhere. I'm assuming another fan, but I have no idea which one. So we'll see when it comes up online. Today's went up around, I think, 11 a.m. Yesterday's, I think, went up around, I want to say 1. So probably that's somewhere in that neighborhood is probably when we'll see the third reveal tomorrow. Wherever it comes from, we'll have it up on Marvelous News. We'll let you guys know on Marvelous News. I probably won't do a news video until Tuesday. Like I said, I might try and just take tomorrow, other than getting that news up. Probably just going to try and relax a little bit tomorrow. But as always, guys, I appreciate you tuning in here to these live streams and listen to me ramble and chat and everything. It's always good to touch base with you guys. I don't always get to read through all the comments on just the normal videos, so I always enjoy just listening to your guys' thoughts on everything. So have a great weekend. Again, for all of you veterans and those serving in the military, I very much appreciate your service. You guys are the real heroes. Stay safe out there. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And until next time, guys, never works well on the live stream, but especially when Salome's in my lap here. Until next time, guys, catch you later.